So this is my 2001 Mazda Miata. I don't know if you tall guys have the same issue as me, but when I have my foot on the brake, my knee a lot of times will touch the steering wheel. You can pull it out here, but my foot's doing this weird sideways thing. It's not very comfortable. A lot of times when I go to turn, especially with the door closed, I'll get, especially if I'm wearing shoes, I'll get my hand stuck here. I don't want to lose the factory steering wheel because I don't want to lose the factory airbag unless I'm wearing a harness, and I don't want to wear a harness unless I'm wearing a proper racing seat and proper harness bar, and that's a whole lot of things to get. So I'm going to try and do this mod, see if I can raise the steering wheel up a tiny bit. I'll get a before and after measurement for you guys. Measuring right from this little black dot up to the edge of the steering wheel, we have, it's like 13.5 inches to the bottom. So first thing you're going to do is grab a little Phillips head screwdriver, and you're going to see these holes right here on the bottom of this steering column. You're going to undo these Phillips head bolts 1, 2, and 3. With those bolts undone, you should be able to just pull this down. It's a little bit wedged in between here and here, but this whole piece will just come right off. It's pretty easy. Okay, with this off, you can see where the little snaps are. You got your little snaps, your clips, your lines. We're gonna pull the this gauge hood. There are clips here, 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 and one in the middle. So you're just gonna reach inside here, just pull it until it pops, other side, and get the other ones off. So here's a look at the inside of the gauge hood. You got a little locator pin, you got clips here, there, and there. And those clip in there, there, down there, over here, and that guy right there. With this gauge hood off, you can undo these 4 bolts to pull off this guy. With those screws out, you should be able to just lift up your gauge cluster and just set it up out of the way. Now you can unplug this, but it seems to be pretty well up and out of the way with it still plugged in. Now you can kind of see, I'm gonna turn on a flashlight, kind of see what we're gonna be working with. You see those bolts right there, and then there's one right there. Those guys attach your steering column, which is this guy, to the I guess the frame of the car. So we're going to undo their 2 nuts under here, or bolts. You're going to undo those, and then you're going to pull out some shims, and then when you put the column back up, it'll be a slightly higher up. To get a little bit better access, I'm going to undo this guy right here. There's a Phillips head screw there, Phillips head screw there. There's the 2 on the bottom, and then the other 2 are clips. I've got some interior glow wires just chilling there, but other than that, it should just fall right out. Awesome, so it looks like with that piece removed, we can get to this bolt, and on the other side, we can get to this bolt. So we're gonna go ahead and undo those slowly. Alright, so with those bolts like loose, I don't have them all the way out, but they're loose, and now this whole steering wheel can move up and down. I'm going to pull it all the way down, and we're going to try and pull out some metal shims. I don't really know, I haven't seen these, but I'm going to try and find them. Alright, I'm going to try and show you guys this. Basically, I'm pulling this down, reaching my hand up and under, and this is the little shim that you will be removing. This guy right here. Don't know which way it pulls out. I guess to the side. Alright, so I took the bolt all the way out, and here's your little metal shim. So here's the other side. Just pop that spacer out. There's one more piece. I'm not sure if this is supposed to come out or not. I don't think so, because this guy that moves back and forth, seems to be connected down here as well, like a big U goes there and back. So I think that needs to stay in. We're going to try just pulling those little spacers. Like, now I have been warned with this that you need to make sure that you center your steering wheel, because those shims apparently also help center this. So make sure this is centered where you want it before you tighten those bolts up. So holding it the same spot. Seems to have not made too much of a difference, if I'm honest. 13.5-ish, maybe a tiny bit higher. In an attempt to get a little bit lower, I'm going to try and push out these guys. Just grab and pushing out. Damn. This thing, reach around the back and pull this out. It's these little clips. And of course these are easily replaceable. If you decide to change your mind, you can throw all this back in there without too much work. Alright, so measuring again. It still doesn't look like it's really moved at all. So I think what's happening, I think we've shaved off about, it's hard for y'all to see, but this is about exactly a 1/4 of an inch, the thickness of these two things, which is right where that was mounted, and now it's just mounted flush. That is just mounted metal on metal now. And I think the issue with why I'm not seeing any change in height is because the steering wheel is also slightly tilted out now, and so the distance from here to here is actually probably higher, but because now I have to measure at an angle, the measurement's probably not as effective. But this tilting outwards is going to give us even more room, as well as that increased height. So I've got the steering wheel back in place. As you can see, like, I can easily push this brake, and like, I don't have to twist my foot at such a crazy angle. I'm going to drive with it and give you guys a review of if I think it's higher. It might just be a placebo, but I mean, this all looks higher than it was before. But I can push the brake fully and push in the clutch, and I can turn my hands. I wouldn't be able to do that before. I would not be able to get both hands through here. So I just went out and did a little bit of spirited driving, and I can heel toe now, and I'm able to get my hand, it still touches my leg when I'm wearing tennis shoes on this side when I turn, but not so much on this side. I might actually be able to move the steering wheel over just a tad that way, but it's actually really nice. I can keep both hands on the steering wheel while I'm turning it. Also, one way that I noticed that this was higher than before is this little reset button now is like in line with this. Like, I used to come in from down below and push, but now I have to come in at this angle because this is higher. Also worth noting is that there's a little bit more gap down here than there was. I think this little ridge used to sit flush with this guy, but now you can see this ridge. So I think we've raised it. We probably raised the steering wheel up about a 1/4 inch. Yeah, we probably raised this whole thing up about a 1/4 inch, which has made a world of difference. Now with a little foamectomy, maybe I'll be able to get this car where I want it to be, but it's so much better to drive now.